Aureus Alliance, own your legacy. Have you ever dreamt of being part of something truly powerful, of owning more than just a share, but a stake in a company built on purpose, profit, and legacy? With Aureus Alliance Holdings, that dream is now within reach. This isn't just one venture. It's an exclusive opportunity to become a shareholder in a legitimate South African company that's scaling across industries, starting with sustainable gold mining. The near future company growth plan includes, but not limited to, property development, technology, and sustainable high-growth ventures. For just $5 internationally or 100 Rand in South Africa, you can secure your first share in the historic launch phase. Every share matters. Every shareholder grows with us. As Aureus grows, so does your dividends. We're not here for reckless mining. We're here for innovation, using eco-friendly wash plant technology that protects the land while producing real results. It's wealth creation with impact, generational, transparent, trustworthy, and you'll never be left behind. Weekly Zoom updates keep every shareholder informed on process, performance, and dividends. This is your chance, your stake, your legacy. Aureus Alliance Holdings, true wealth, real impact. Your realization and journey finally has the opportunity to start here and now.
Welcome to Aureus Alliance Holdings, where we're building gold-backed impact ventures to give back to the community. And we are able to do this because we're going to be mining real gold and other minerals, and that will provide real profits. So before we start, let's look at what the gold rate is, because this is something that I want everybody to get accustomed to. Okay, why? Why is this such a big thing? Well, when we started prospecting, or Donovan Jones started prospecting in 2016, gold rate was sitting just over $40,000. I got involved in 2023 when it was sitting at about $75,000, and the highest that it's been so far is $139,000. That was its peak. Okay, and then it's dropped down. And it started picking up again. Okay, so where we're sitting at today is $130,000. And there's a big reason because of this. We need to know what the gold rate is, because this is what's going to affect how we talk about the dividends when it comes to Aureus. Okay, so firstly, what you are getting involved in here is you are purchasing shares in Aureus Alliance Holdings. This is a PTY Ltd company here in South Africa. Every single shareholder gets a CIPC registered share certificate. If you buy multiple shares at certain intervals, then you will get multiple share certificates, and each certificate will have X amount of shares on it that you purchased. So you're not purchasing a share in the gold mine or platinum mine or diamond or whatever mine we're going to be getting involved in, or in the ICT sector or in the property development sector. You are buying shares in Aureus Alliance Holdings, in the company itself. And this is important because if you were just purchasing shares in, for example, the mine in Kadoma, then the maximum that you would get out of the 2.1 tons of gold there is about 100 kilograms. Okay, so I'm going to show how this works. Remember that gold rate I was talking about? So 2160, that's the total amount of gold that is over 80 centimeters deep, over the 250 hectares. 80 centimeters, okay? Keep that in mind. Yes, we can go down. We can go up to 14 meters down on our licenses there. But that times $130,000, that gives us $280,800,000. That is the value of this piece of property, which is 250 hectares, okay? Then 45% is the deduction. That is for the expenses, running costs, everything. And then that's divided between 1.4 million. The reason why it's divided between 1.4 million is because there's a total of 1.4 million shares that is up for sale. That gives $110. Okay. Now, remember I said about the gold rate. When we started this presentation and started looking for shareholders in our pre-sale, we were sitting at $109,000 per kilogram, where we're sitting now at $130,000. You can see the difference that the growth has got. All right, so we're going to be opening up self-sustainable mining ventures. Okay, that means that we are not traditional open cast. Yes, we are still a form of open cast, but not traditional open cast, because traditional open cast just goes deeper and deeper and literally destroys the land. Okay, it can never become be restored in any viable state, and we will be restoring every single piece of property, except probably where the actual pit mine is going to be starting. That's where the vein is. There we won't be able to take it into a natural state. That should be obvious. But everything around it we will turn into a natural viable state. And the reason why we're doing this is because we are looking after the property, but also after the people that are living in the area. Okay. They're used to everybody coming in there and just taking whatever they want and leaving them with nothing. And we are going to be really doing something different for every single person that is in the area of Kadoma, Zimbabwe, also throughout Africa. So like I said, there is 1.4 total million shares available for sale. And once these are sold, that's not where it's going to be ending. You can purchase these shares now from anything between $10 up to $1,000, depending on what phase you're going to be coming into this venture. Once the 1.4 million shares is sold, though, it will go over to the NFT marketplace. This is a custom-built NFT marketplace that my company will be developing, and there the price will be $1,000 each minimum. Okay, that means that you will not be able to sell it for less. That is the minimum amount. It will also be attached to NFT artwork pieces. So it's going to be one NFT. And once you sell it, then or put it up for sale, then a artwork piece will be connected to it. This is not the normal NFT nonsense. We're talking about this little pictures. We're talking about real art. We have got artists all over the world that's going to be connecting to this, and it needs to be African artwork, but not necessarily from Africa, the artists themselves. So we're going to have artists all over the world that's going to connect. They're going to have their own portfolios, and everything will be set up. If their artwork is chosen, it is connected to one of the NFTs, then they will also be earning royalties. Okay, so our first target is January to have 2 wash plants set up. This will generate about $10 to $40 in dividend per quarter. Okay, this is for the first year, and I want everybody to understand is we are using a conservative amount. We want to target 100 kilograms, 100 kilograms per month, so that we can do about 1.2 tons. This will give everybody a dividend of around $60 for the year. Once again, if we take 1,200 kilograms times $130,000 minus 45%, and then divided by 1.4 million shares, that gives us $61. All right. So, and this is why I said look at the actual gold rate, because as the gold rate is increasing or decreasing, it will affect the dividend payout, but it will give you an indication. All right. Now, our target is to have 3.5 tons annually by 2026. What do we mean by that? We want to have between 10 and 30 plants up and running for the entire 2026, that at 2027, we will reach our minimum target of 3.5 tons. Our base target is basically 10 tons per year, and with an increase of 10 tons on every single year for the next 10 years. Okay, so we're looking at about $145 for the following year, up to $500, okay, in dividends. How we're going to achieve this is not with one property that's 250 hectares. We want to get multiple properties all over Africa, which will range over 6,000 hectares and will generate an average of 100 tons per year. Once again, so it's 100 times 1,000. That gives you 100,000 kilograms times $130,000 minus 45%. Divided by 1.4 million. Okay, so that's $5,107. Now for all these South Africans, if we take 5,107 times 17, that's 86,000 rands per year. Okay, and this should be accomplished by 2035. Okay, this is what our goals is, and this is why we are selling these 1.4 million shares. Now we've got this, before I carry on, we got this question the other day, which was, well, we're going to be selling by the first dividend, which is in April. We'll be selling just over 600,000 shares. So what happens with the balance? The balance is also going to be earning dividends, but those dividends are going to go to the company, and that is going to be used to expand, right? That's going to be used to add more plants, to get more people, to get more gold produced, so that what? So that we can get bigger dividends for every single shareholder and we can reach our targets. So that's our secondary contingency plan. We're not just about mining gold, we're also going to do a massive CSR, which is corporate social responsibility project. Okay, we're calling this Eco World, and these are smart villages that Aureus and Sun will be developing throughout Africa. Where we will be starting is in Zimbabwe and Dodoma. This smart village provides food, electricity, running water, as well as we're going to be adding a school and a clinic. And of course, it's also going to provide jobs. And Aureus, of course, will also be providing jobs inside of the mine. The reason why we want to add school and clinics inside of each of these smart villages is because that's a type of thing that's very difficult to get to. The kids are walking an average of 15 kilometers every single day to get to school and back. So it's quite strenuous on them. Now we're a proof of work company. What this means is we have been there multiple times. We have gone for multiple tests. We have done geotechnical tests, and we got the reports to prove it, which is in our prospectus, and we will be releasing that in the next 24 to 48 hours. You can see there I am myself. I went through on the first trip in 2023 to go and verify that this is real. And at that time, I went with these two gentlemen. You can see there they are there. They are gold experts from India. They got 5 gold mines in Zambia, and they came through to look at the grass. Now, I'll explain the grass just now, but first I want to finish on these people. So this is Donovan James. He's the CEO. You can see he is on multiple photos, different shirts, different clothing. You can see it's a different circumstances that we were there. This piece of rock that is held here by this our gold expert here, that piece of rock goes through a crusher plant, and there will also be fine traces of gold dust and gold nuggets that could be found in it. So every single piece of overburden will be going through the machines multiple times, so we make sure that we get every single piece of gold. This gentleman here, he is from Parliament, all right? He is from the government. He's one of the advisors of the president, and he came through to Dodoma so that he could speak and also look and see that we are doing the right thing, that we are following the promises that we have made. This gentleman over here, he is from Dividend Engineering, and he will be contracted to build our wash plants for us. So we're not going to be using wash plants from other companies, international and so forth. We are using engineering company inside of Africa, inside of Zimbabwe, to be able to create these plants. One of the major reasons is because he's part of the community. The community knows him, the community stands him, and he's got many, many years of experience. The other reason is because if anything breaks, he and his team will come out and come and fix whatever is broken. If it's really bad, then they will come and they will replace the plants as well. So everything is handmade by this engineering company. On one of the tests, when they dug pits to test the grade of the sand, of the overburden and the tailings, they did also some panning, and they found 4 pieces of gold. Those 4 pieces don't look like much, but they were $120 odd per piece. Right, and this was found within a couple of hours. This is one of the reasons why we are not there with picks and shovels, because you'll have 1 or 2 people busy picking and shoveling, and within a week you'll have 1,000 people doing it, and the land will, all the resources will be gone. Now, earlier I spoke about the grass. The grass is very important. You can see that the grass here is bright green, and there it's dull. There's 2 photos here that is not of Godoma, that's of a different area. And we basically took those photos because so we can differentiate and show people what the differences is. So these are artisanal miners. They're working on another person's land who has hired them to mine out his gold. And we went and discussed and spoke to them and found out what type of yield you can get, and also what their experience is. And unfortunately, their experience is not great, because it's a constant battle taking this gold out and selling it and so forth. So we'll also be empowering these people, helping them, guiding them, employing them, and so forth. The reason for the grass that's so bright and green is because of the iron oxidation in the soil. The more iron oxidation is in the soil, so the more iron content is found, also the more gold is found in the soil. And you can see everything is quite bright and green in our area. The other reason is because of the amounts of water. This is a dry riverbed that we are going to be mining in, but as you can see, there is water as well. And this is vitally important resource that is required. When we were done prospecting and doing the tests and everything, and while we were doing it still, we also went to various institutions. We went to universities, we went to technicons, we went all over Zimbabwe. Why? To build public relations with the community. Because you're coming in as a foreigner into a country, they don't know what you're doing, and most of them, they can be very not physical hostile, but they can be like wary about why are you here? Because most of the miners that do come into the country, they just come to destroy. So because we've come and we've told, this is what we are doing, this is how we're going to be building the CSR and everything, we have got massive support from the community. When I spoke while I was there for about 8 months. And while I was speaking to one of the miners, we wanted to get him on board as institutional investor, because he's got all of the equipment, everything that we need, except the plants. He doesn't use wash plant technology. He stipulated very clearly to me that he will take this piece of land and he will clean it out for us within 2 months. And my words to him, yes, and there will be nothing left. And he said, so it's just gold, and that's their mentality. So we're coming to Africa to change that mentality with as many people as possible. We also have an offtake agreement with Zimbabwe. This means that we will not be selling the gold to anybody else out of the country. You will also not be getting any gold, right, or any other minerals. And we're also not just mining gold. We know already that there is copper. Original licenses is copper licenses. Once we start mining, we will converting that over to whatever minerals we find, including gold, silver, cobalt, iron, including even diamonds if we go deep enough. Right, so there's 1.4 million shares in total. We're in phase one now with 320,000 plus shares at $10 each. Okay, there is 19 phases, main phases in total. And for the next 3 phases, we are accepting South African Rand and USDT. But for all of the phases, we are accepting USDT. And this is in the Polygon, Ethereum, Tron, and BNB network. So over these 20 phases, we will collect a total of $291,800,000. The price of the phases increases, the total amount of shares decreases and increases. The reason why I say increases is because of the model that we are building. So whatever shares are not sold in the phase, it will be transferred over to the next phase. For an example, in our pre-sale, we had X amount of shares and that was transferred over to our main phase one. And the same thing will happen with phase one. It will go over to phase two. If we sell out on the phases in a quick matter, it means that once this the network starts really spreading out and the phases start selling out quicker, then it might even be sold out by July 2026. That is my own personal goal. Okay, I estimate this. The reason why my estimation is for July 2026 is because by April 2026, we will pay out our first dividend. And this first dividend, even though it's probably going to be only $15, might be more, it might be a little bit less. But what this first dividend will do is it will prove that this business is 100% real, 100% factual, and it will explode from there. And the shares will sell out very, very quickly. Okay. Now, the latest to its latest point that the shares could take is July 2027. The reason being is because it's not just reliant on the amount of shares per phase, but also on time. Every 6 of every single month, we will move over to the next phase, regardless if there is 100,000, 200,000, or just 10,000 shares sold for the phase, we will move over to the next phase. Okay, so which means that the price will increase every single month on the 6th of every single month. So phase one, up until the 6th of December, it will be $10. On the 6th of December, it will go over to $15. The 6th of January, it will become $20. The 6th of February, it will become $25. The 6th of March, it will become $30. And it will continue like that every single month, except if the phases are sold quicker. Okay. By phase 9, we are sitting at $50. There's a $50 jump from phase 9 to 10, and then from phase 10 to phase 19, there is a $100 jump per phase up until $1,000. By the time that we have completed phase 19, there will be enough capital for Aureus to be able to set up 250 wash plants plus more. All right. Also, once we are done with the one area, if we are going into deep mining, underground mining, then the wash plant technology that will be transported to the new piece of land. We will take going to JV agreements with multiple countries. We've already been contacted by Nigeria, Cameroon, and Burkina Faso. All right, so it will be expanding over Africa, like I said, 6,000 plus hectares, and our target is 108 tons, which you saw tonight is about $5,000 per share per year. What does that actually mean? It means that whether or not you buy one share, or you buy 10 shares, or you buy 100 shares, or 1,000 shares, or 10,000 shares, or 100,000 shares, it's entirely up to you. Right? But we want to make this opportunity available for every single shareholder. Doesn't matter if they can afford one or they can afford 100,000 shares. Okay. And we want to make it profitable for every single one of those shareholders as well. Okay. So what we're saying is that think about this as a retirement plan. One share could be generating you $5,000 in 10 years from now. Okay, $5,000 is, like I said, 80,000 Rand currently. So which means that you could literally retire in 10 years from now. Well, here in South Africa, in other countries, probably not so much, so easily. Somebody asked me the other day, how many shares would I require to stop working? I said it depends on what your salary is and your responsibilities is. But about 300 shares, then you pretty much set. Okay, so we are not encouraging anybody to purchase above what they are comfortable with. We are just stipulating that the share prices are decreasing. Okay, so we have got 1.4 million shares, and how we're going to be selling this is via our affiliates that are earning 15% USDT commissions. This USDT is split up in two parts. It's split up in 10% that goes directly into your internal wallets in the system that you can convert over to shares if you want to, and then the other, or you can withdraw it, and the other 5% automatically purchases you a share, or two or three, depends on the amount. All right. The reason being is that you are building your own retirement package, and secondly, it also helps your upline, right? So it helps the person that you introduce to the business, so it does flow up. But this is purchasing of shares, right? So it's not a set percentage that goes on every single percent, that goes up like a what they would call a MLM. Now, for our top affiliates, there is also competition prizes. Now, currently, I'm sitting here on phase 19, and the first prize is $3 million. And yes, you are reading that correctly. $3 million as the first prize. But even on the 15th phase, it's $1.8 million. On the 10th phase, $300,000. On the 5th phase, $90,000. And currently on phase 1, $192,000. So this means that if everybody that is currently busy promoting this business, they can win that type of prize. So on Sunday, we are inviting all of the prize winners. We will be announcing them, and you'll be able to see them live on the website as well, for the previous competition. Okay, and this is based on the amount of shares that's sold. So this means that if 320,000 shares are sold, the first prize is $192,000, because it's 15% of the total amount of shares, 15% of the total amount cost of shares that are sold. All right. So by what else is memorable? Okay. By phase 8, this is something that's very, very important for me. By phase 8, we're starting to build a hospital. Okay, this is something that's in dire need in Kadoma. Right, we want to make Kadoma like this, the central point where Harare used to be the central point. We want to expand in Kadoma because there is nothing, so there is massive opportunity to actually expand and create something really, really pure. By phase 19, we will be completing that. Okay, now just a little side note. Does it mean that when we are by phase 19, we will already be in Ghana and Tanzania? We will already have 257 wash plants up and running, and you will be earning $4,000, $5,000 per share per year? No, because this phase could be ending in the next 2-3 months. Especially because of, I did speak about Dubai earlier. We have got a deal that we're working with for $3.5 million. And then we got another deal that's also come up now for $15 million. Okay, so we are looking at other institutional investors because our goal is what? To get the mine operation started. The mine operation started, we proved that the mine is real, everything is real, then this business will just explode from there. Right, that's it for the presentation. I will open up for questions.
Not to brag, but I own tons of this.
How much?
I own the mines.
You own the mines?
I'm a capitalist. I bought the biggest gold mine in America last July. It's in Utah.
So you're literally mining your own gold?
Amen.